Welcome to Rob on Holiday. Today we're at Windsor Castle. Dating back to the 11th century, Windsor Castle is one of the UK's most famous royal residences, and it's the oldest and largest inhabited castle in the world. In this video we're going to show you what it's like to visit Windsor Castle. Windsor Castle is the perfect choice for a day trip from London, as it's just 23 miles from the city centre. Windsor Castle is also just a 20-minute drive from Heathrow Airport, so it could be a great choice for the last day of your trip to the UK if you're flying out of this airport. If you're coming from other parts of the country, Windsor is close to both the M4 and the M25. You can get a train from London Paddington Station to Windsor, which takes 35 minutes with one change. If you're arriving by car, there are plenty of car parks in the centre. However, car parking is expensive. You're talking upwards of about £15 if you plan to spend the day in Windsor. So this was a last minute change of plan to us to come to Windsor Castle. Normally we'd book well in advance of our visit, so we've only booked on the day because it was a bit busy in London today, so we decided to come to Windsor Castle. Now, so it cost us £30. I think it's normally about £25, £26, but it costs more if you only book on the day you come. Another thing worth bearing in mind, if you've got people in your party that are 18 to 24, then they're going to get in for £20. It's just that bit cheaper, so worth looking at that. You can experience queues outside coming in. We were okay at this time. Again, booking in advance is worthwhile because you skip part of the queue system, but regardless of how you book, you still have to go through a security system as well, so just be prepared for a bit of extra time at the gate, especially if you come in the summer when it's really busy. To get to the castle entrance, you walk uphill from the river and turn left onto Castle Hill as shown on the map on the screen. As I said, when you present your ticket, you'll have to go through a security check before entering the castle. Two things strike me immediately on just my first 10-15 minutes in Windsor Castle. Number one is, calling it a castle, it's almost like doing it a disservice. Yes, you've got your traditional castle areas and battlements, but it's so big. There are houses, accommodation, stables, you know, it's such a vast complex. It's almost like a small village or town. Secondly is how well maintained it is. I mean, you go into a lot of castles, and of course, because they're hundreds of years old, the stonework is very grey, but here, it's a really sandy colour and it looks like it's really well maintained. It's an interesting mix of architectural styles here. I mean, it's almost Tudor-like over there, and then there's built into the battlements there, very grand stone cottages. Then you've got the more traditional castle elements at the top. And of course the chapel here. Now normally you're allowed to go in the chapel, but today it's a Sunday and we think we saw one of the royals in, maybe Zara Phillips has gone in there. So I don't think members of the public are allowed in there today. But it's a really nice scene here. Within the castle grounds you'll find St George's Chapel. The chapel is open to Windsor Castle guests on Mondays, Thursdays, Fridays and Saturdays. We were visiting on a Sunday, so we didn't get to go inside on this occasion. After exploring the main area around St George's Chapel, the tour continues to the left of the main castle tower. After taking in the view of the rest of Windsor from the North Terrace, you head inside to look at the state apartments. This is also where you'll find the cafe, so it's a good place to take a break in the middle of your tour. You can't take pictures inside the state apartments, so let's skip forward a little. We've just been around the inside rooms at Windsor Castle that are publicly available, and there's a lot of them. I mean, there's some very ornate ceilings, lots of amazing oil canvas paintings. But to be honest, like once you've done 1, 2, 3, 4 rooms, it's kind of more and more of the same. Now, the interesting thing is they don't let you take any photography or video in there. I even tried to snap a little bit inside the cafeteria because I thought, well, this is a nice, interesting room with arches, but the lady told me off. So I think for the amount you pay, they could have set maybe a couple of rooms aside where you could take some pictures because, you know, they know the public are going to be interested in this, but that was not to be. But yes, it's nice. There's a lot of good stuff to see inside. One thing that was especially good was one of the queens, not the Queen Elizabeth II, it was an earlier queen. She had a big doll's house presented to her, and you could see it was cut away, the inside of Buckingham Palace, and it was really intricate and interesting to look at. After leaving the state apartments, you walk through an archway that leads you back to the central area of the castle, where your tour concludes. So that's the end of our visit to Windsor Castle. We've spent just over 2 hours in here, and it's quite a big entrance fee for a castle, but I have to say it's a very impressive place. There is a lot to see, a lot to look around. We've done quite a lot of it fast, so you could spend 2.5, 3 or even 4 hours here. The only slight disappointment, as I said, is you can't take photographs when you go anywhere inside. There's a lot of stuff worth seeing inside that we can't put on the video, so make sure you go through the rooms when you come and visit yourself. The exit is through the gate opposite St George's Chapel. After your visit to the castle, head down St Albans Way and to the Long Walk. This long straight path stretches for 3 miles from the statue of King George III all the way to the gates of Windsor Castle. This is the Long Walk in Windsor, and if you want me to be honest, I think they missed a little word out in there. I think it's the Very Long Walk. I wonder why they call it that. Well, just look behind me. I don't think we're going to walk the full distance. We'll do like everyone else does. We'll probably walk a bit of the way up there, and then we can say we've done it. I think that's good enough. After walking a little way up the Long Walk, our time in Windsor had come to an end. There isn't much to explore in Windsor beyond the castle, but this in itself is so impressive that it's definitely worth making the effort to come here, especially if you're staying in London. Thanks for watching Rob on Holiday. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button below and subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified every time we upload a new video. Thanks for watching and see you next time.